so, let me try that again. Oh, no, I was on. For the next 10 minutes or so, we'd like to invite you to just relax as the music plays. Close your eyes, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Ganapataye namo namaha. Ganapataye namo namaha. Ganapataye namo namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadhura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadhura Hamare. Ganapataye namo namaha. 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 Omega Dantaya Vidmahi Vakrajundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Ganapataye Sakala Vignya Karadhura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadhura Hamare. Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Ganganapataye Namo Namaha 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 Suklambaradharam Vishnu Sasivarnam Chaturjam Prasannavadanam Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Ganganapataye Namo Namaha 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 Om Ekadantaya Vidmahi Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Ganganapataye Namo Namaha Namo Namaha
Namaste.
Welcome.
Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means community of truth. Wherever there are two or three seekers of truth, or we might add finders of truth, who come together to share their spiritual journey, their experiences, their ups and downs, we have a satsang. Roughly, we have a spiritual community. And we strengthen one another exponentially when we come together this way. It's so important to find a group of others who are treading the same path of awakening and flowering into oneness with the divine and with all that is. So hopefully you have found one locally. Many of us have, but you're always welcome to join us here on Monday night, except next Monday night. Might as well get through that. Suzanne and I are going out of town on Friday. We will be gone May 2nd till May 9th. Our in-house satsangs here at Flowering Heart Center on Wednesday night will still go on just as always. However, the book club and centering group, which meets on Sunday afternoon here and online, will not be meeting this Sunday. And next Monday night, I apologize, we'll be absent. But you can always come here and watch a recording of one of the past ones. There have been some good ones lately. So I'm afraid that some people read our announcement and didn't notice that I said, we will be here tonight, just from the 2nd to the 9th. But that's all right. If you are here, or if you're not here, please be here now. But if you're here, go ahead and give us a like or a love, a heart or a thumbs up. If you're on Facebook Live, if you're viewing on Vimeo, enter something in the chat. Just tell your name, not just your screen tag, because we don't know who that is. And say hi, and we will send you special hugs and blessings at the end of the webcast tonight. I don't think there are any other announcements. We had a pretty special interfaith communion with the Cosmic Christ. We do that once a month on the last Sunday of the month. It's totally interfaith. We have people join us who are Buddhist, Hindu, pagan, Christian, you name it. Everyone is welcome. More and more people these days are experiencing Christ consciousness and the presence of the Cosmic Christ, which is that aspect of the divine that is the spark at the heart of everything in the universe, that is pure love and holds the plan, the blueprint for evolution and transformation. In India, they call it the Paramatma, the God within, the Christ within, the inner light, many names. But Christians believe that incarnated historically and humanly through Jesus of Nazareth 2,000 years ago. Some people don't believe that. Whatever you believe, you're welcome to those communion services to experience the presence of the Cosmic Christ, which has no beginning and no end, existed infinitely before there was a Jesus of Nazareth, and will exist infinitely ever after. So if you're into the heart path and the light within, I think you might enjoy that. Yesterday's service was on the heart of ascension.
It was really good.
And
Highly recommend it. I know I say this every month, but this one was particularly.
And we had an amazing group, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old friends,
Yeah.
actually. Some of you may. No, okay. All right, Suzanne says I can't out the people that joined us. All right, I won't do
Just have
that.
to watch the video.
I really want to, though, because we had some really, really special people.
Everybody's really special.
Well, okay, I don't know where to go from there, so
Okay.
I'll just move on. We like to open it to, yeah, they were really surprise visitors. That's all I'm allowed to say. And it was really wonderful.
Yeah.
So we like to open it to questions and answers on the spiritual journey, preferably your journey, what you might be experiencing in meditation or prayer or just on the spiritual path that you're on. because we all have very similar experiences, even though our paths are unique and different. We tend to, along the way, experience similar hurdles and plateaus and obstacles and breakthroughs. So your questions will help everyone. So please listen to that still small voice inside. Aha! The voice of the Paramatma, the inner light, the cosmic Christ, might whisper to you something that you could ask tonight in the satsang. It moves the divine presence to pour inspiration out to all of us. And for me and Suzanne, we receive inspiration to share with everyone. And so that's kind of your part to play. I like to give everybody time to do that by sharing these little articles and quotes from a website called inspiringquotes.com. Tonight was really a difficult choice. I really wanted to choose this article, 17 quotes on feminism and the 4 waves of it historically. It's really great, so maybe I'll share that in the future. I think it would be educational to everybody, especially to us males, but I think everyone would learn from it. There was another collection of quotes on death and rebirth, which were just marvelous, and more. So we'll have weeks ahead to share those things. But tonight we're going to look at 21 quotes to help you trust your intuition. And this little article and collection of quotes is from the author Tony Donnell. We've shared a lot of things from Tony, actually. Joyce Chen is another favorite. In fact, all the authors from Inspiring Quotes have just been great. Tony Donnell is an English writer of nonfiction and fiction living on the edge of the Amazon jungle. So he's got a special place in our heart. We love South America. And here's what Tony writes about intuition and the importance of trusting it. And then the quotes that follow. Tony writes, when you have a gut feeling, that's your intuition kicking in. It's a hard process to describe, but it's basically the ability to understand or know something, often immediately, based on your feelings rather than facts. Intuition is similar to instinct, but not the same. Both come without conscious reasoning, but instinct is an automatic response that pushes you into an action that typically promotes survival, such as fight or flight. Whereas intuition is a feeling of knowing, a judgment, insight, or decision that just feels right. Learning to trust these hunches has helped people from all walks of life to succeed, whether by making new discoveries, creating great art, or building a successful business. Here are some quotes about the value of intuition from philosophers, artists, business leaders, scientists, and more. So here we go. Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Cleverness is mere opinion. Bewilderment, intuition. Rumi. One of my very favorites, Rumi. The highest endeavor of the mind and the highest virtue is to understand things by the intuitive kind of knowledge. Baruch Spinoza. Another one of my favorites. Logic, which alone can give certainty, is the instrument of demonstration. Intuition is the instrument of invention. Henry Poincaré. All human knowledge begins with intuitions, proceeds from thence to concepts, and ends with ideas. Immanuel Kant. Intuition comes very close to clairvoyance. It appears to be the extrasensory perception of reality. Alexis Carrel. The activity of the intuition consists in making spontaneous judgments, which are not the result of conscious trains of reasoning. These judgments are often, but by no means invariably, correct. Alan Turing. Good point. All great achievements of science must start from intuitive knowledge. I believe in intuition and inspiration. At times, I feel certain I am right, while not knowing the reason. Albert Einstein. Women observe subconsciously 1,000 little details without knowing that they are doing so. Their subconscious mind adds these little things together, and they call the result intuition. Agatha Christie. A hunch is creativity trying to tell you something. Frank Capra. You must train your intuition. You must trust the small voice inside you, which tells you exactly what to say, what to decide. Ingrid Bergman. Intuition is the key to everything. In painting, filmmaking, business, everything. I think you could have an intellectual ability, but if you can sharpen your intuition, which they say is emotion and intellect joining together, then a knowingness occurs. David Lynch. Intuition is a very powerful thing, more powerful than intellect. Steve Jobs. Intuition is really a sudden immersion of the soul into the universal current of life. Paulo Coelho. For the most important decisions in your life, trust your intuition, and then work with everything you have to prove it right. Tim Cook. You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover will be yourself. Alan Alda. Intuition is the wisdom formed by feeling and instinct, a gift of knowing without reasoning. Angela Arendt. I've trusted the still small voice of intuition my entire life. The only time I've made mistakes is when I didn't listen. Oprah Winfrey. I feel there are two people inside me.
Only two?
I feel there are two people inside me and my intuition. If I go against her, she'll screw me every time. And if I follow her, we get along quite nicely. Kim Basinger. The more you trust your intuition, the more empowered you become, the stronger you become, and the happier you become. Giselle Bundchen. When you have the intuition that there is something which is there, but out of the reach of your physical world, art and religion are the only means to get to it. Guillermo del Toro. Practice listening to your intuition, your inner voice. Ask questions. Be curious. See what you see, hear what you hear, and then act upon what you know to be true. These intuitive powers were given to your soul at birth. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Those are cool.
Mm-hmm.
And not all the same. I mean, one talked about the melding of the mind and emotion, of thought and emotion as being intuition. Someone else mentioned it as being instinct. Interesting stuff. Let us know if you have any thoughts about that. So let's see what we've got back here, back on the ranch. Okay. Ekaterina says, I want to ask for a special blessing because on May 7th is my 50th birthday. Sure. Okay. And a
Taurus.
a fella. Another Taurus. Me too. My birthday is May 19th.
So that
Our
would be a
family is just
Wednesday.
full of Tauruses.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Special blessings and happy birthday, Ekaterina.
Absolutely. We will do that. Okay, and Kyle is there with your girlfriend Courtney, and she's new to all of this. I think, Kyle, you're the person that almost came last Wednesday. Perhaps we'll see you this Wednesday before we go out of town for a week. We'll see. But that sounds like what you told me about yourself when we communicated. So I'm glad you're with us tonight. All right. Ekaterina says, my wish is to have the courage to serve God. Maybe you can talk about surrendering to God's will versus having things our way. I mean, I always wanted to be an actress, but I don't know if that is God's will. Yeah, the subject of vocation came up recently, and how many people don't know what they're here for. Peace Pilgrim talks about that
right.
in the book we've been reading, Ekaterina. And often what we're here to do ends up being exactly what we're doing. You know, whether it's raising a family or working as an actress, you shine where you're planted, you grow where you're planted. Mother Teresa said, if you find yourself on the street, don't try to put yourself in the palace. If you find yourself in the palace, don't try to put yourself on the street to follow God. You know, we don't need to imitate Peace Pilgrim, who wandered way over 25,000 miles on foot for peace as a pilgrim. That was her calling, and she was absolutely clear about it. But if we place ourselves at God's disposal and say, I want to serve you, I trust you, your will be done in my life, believe me, the divine has a way of getting across to you what it is you should be doing or could be doing.
Well, and that just came up in this chapter of the book Peace Pilgrim that we're doing in our book club this last week. In previous chapters, she said that she really believes that everybody has a path and a purpose in this life. And in this last chapter, she brought it home a little bit more by saying, asking people, well, what makes you really happy? What do you enjoy doing? And you've mentioned before in the past, Katerina, that you're passionate about being an actress, and that when you're on the set, when you're acting, you're able to transmit and be of service. You're able to, send out energy.
Transcend yourself.
And transcend yourself and put God's will, out into your acting. So it sounds like you've been pretty surrendered. You've had a successful career and you enjoy it. But it is good to always remember at the forefront of things, to further surrender and ask, how can I be of service? It's a good meditation for me to start my day. How can I be of service? I never had any idea. I did want to be some kind of a teacher when I was younger, and I did want to work. I was into Reiki and meditation, and I had no idea that my life would show up like this, but it brings me incredible joy and satisfaction. But if you'd asked me at 20, what's your life purpose and what are you going to do? It's completely radically different than anything I ever could have come up with. But it's also very perfect and fits me very well. So I think that, if we're happy in what we're doing, and also this chapter of Peace Pilgrim that we were discussing yesterday about how if you're happy, you're being of service, that things come very easily to you. And if you're not, you need to change that to bring everything more into balance. There's something else about that I was going to say, but I lost it.
Well, if it comes to you, just
Okay.
bring it up. There are two words. There is having a profession and having a vocation. Profession is often what we choose, what we want to accomplish in life. Sometimes God sort of tricks us and is working through that profession. But vocation means calling. So there's quite a difference between people that pursue, for instance, spiritual ministry as a profession, and people that answer the calling, the vocation to serve. That's what we want to do, is respond to the call. But so many of us go, I don't hear a call. I don't hear God calling. Well, the Sufi master says, if you want to know where your heart is calling you, look where your feet are going. Because it can be quite spontaneous, actually, the vocation of the spirit. But passion, you mentioned passion about Ekaterina. One of the things that we've learned is that there are very few true passions in life. There are thousands of desires. You might desire to be successful in your acting career. You might desire to have a certain kind of relationship, a certain kind of family life, to have things unfold a certain way. Every day, thousands of desires go through our minds. But someone said to me in India, and it kind of stuck with me, that you're extremely fortunate if in life you have even one true passion. So what's the difference between desire and passion? Passion is a desire that lights you up. It's not a craving, but it's something that sets the course for your life. It sets the compass. And it's very powerful within you. If there's a passion in you, you know it. A mother's love for her children is filled with passion. Great artists, great thinkers, their journeys are fueled by this inner fire that Suzanne and I have seen working in you, Katerina. That passion is an indication of vocation or calling. One of my jobs as a spiritual director, as a spiritual teacher and leader, has been to help discern people's vocations. So many people have come to me over the years and say, I feel called to become a healer, a teacher, a minister, a priest, or whatever. And for some of them, as we walked together and examined it and prayed with it and stayed with it, it had the fire of passion and the evidence of the calling of the Divine Spirit. For others, it was just a desire, a concept, something they had in their mind. And the best thing to do, especially when we're talking about spiritual or religious vocation, if it's not the real deal, let it go. Live a good life. For some reason, I want to read this quote from the Message Bible that I shared yesterday. Basically, it started out with Isaiah 60, which says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Behold, in these times darkness may cover the earth, and dense darkness the people, but the divine presence will arise upon you, and the divine glory will be seen upon you, and people will be drawn to that light that's shining through your life. Lift up your eyes and see it. See that vision of just shining wherever you are, because the light is there. The divine presence is already within you. It's not something that's way far away in heaven above or across an ocean where you're separated by sin. All that's baloney. It's here and now. And the fullness of the divine presence resides in you at the center of your being, awaiting your discovery. And when we discover it, make contact, it just begins to shine like a supernova from within. And you'll know what your calling is. So this other verse I really like. I took it from a very hip translation, and I love it. And it's a translation of where Christ said, "You're the light of the world, so let it shine. Let people see your good works and give glory to God in heaven." The Message translation puts it this way, quote, "Here's another way to put it. You're here to be light, bringing out the God colors of the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this. As public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I've put you there on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house." I love that. "Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven." Wonderful translation. If you want to read something that's really hip and speaks to the young people, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but some of it's just beautiful. It's called the Message Bible, and I like that. We're going public with this. You know? Just keep open house. Just keep sharing your life, and everything will be obvious. So, the thing about a vocation is we don't always find it; it finds us, and we're led. It's not that we're following a vision. Sometimes that's really nice when that happens, to have a voice speak to you. This is what I want you to do with your life, you know. But for most of us, it isn't that way. We find that we're being drawn by something invisible, imperceptible, and probably the greatest witness would be what we were just sharing, intuition.
Yeah.
Just knowing and feeling it's right.
Yeah.
But it is good that you question.
Yeah.
That's humility.
Yeah.
Because, as one of those quotes said, intuition is often, but certainly not always, correct. I love it.
Yeah.
Katrina says, "Thank you for your beautiful answer." Well, thank you for your beautiful being.
Question, yeah, and being.
And for sharing such a lovely question.
Just always remember the power of intention. You know, we can set the intention every day to be a blessing to as many people as we can, no matter where we are. And you've got, you know, an opportunity, and you do take it to share and be a blessing and be of service to everybody you connect with on the set, your portrayal of the characters in your parts that you play, in your home life, in your community, in your friends, like Michael said, bloom where you're planted. So
if you're new to all of this, you need to understand we're very interfaith. We've talked a lot about the Christ within, and I read a scripture, but in our community, in the Flowering Heart Satsang, we have committed Buddhists and Hindus, Sufi, pagan, Taoist, everybody. We came to a point in our lives and in our ministry, our calling to ministry, to open our home, our center, and our hearts and our lives to everybody, regardless of what they do or don't believe. And that really works well. Yeah. So, that's all I'm saying. That's why Ganesh is back there dancing at the bottom left of that picture of Christ, and Kuan Yin, the first bodhisattva, is pouring out the elixir of life over there on the right side next to Suzanne, and on this altar there's just everything. So many great spiritual teachers and traditions are represented. So that's what we do.
And happy birthday again, Ekaterina.
Indeed. Happy birthday. That's just lovely. So, May 7th, we will be in the mountains.
Yeah,
Yay.
with the kids.
Yep, with our kids. It very seldom happens.
Right. Yeah.
So, we were called to do it.
Yes.
So, are there any other questions before we dive into the next part?
I think it's ready.
I think
We're ready to go.
I think we're ready. Then I would like to invite you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and open your heart to the presence. Invoke the presence that dwells within you. Rumi, the great Sufi mystic that I said I'm so enamored of, said so many wonderful things. But one of the things he said is, you are not a drop of the divine ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. It's a mystery, but the entire divine source and presence dwells within you, deep within you, in your spiritual heart of hearts. And this presence is pure, unconditional love. It loves you exactly as you are. Religion has taught, unfortunately, in many cases, that we're so far from the divine, from the presence and from union with the divine, separated by our karma, separated by our sins, separated by our ignorance. Nothing could be farther from the truth. All of those things, ignorance and karma and our misdeeds, they may blind our minds to seeing the light, but we are never, ever separate from this presence. In God we live and move and have our being. And the divine is not far from any one of us. It knows everything you've ever done, everything you may be hiding, even from yourself right now, and knows everything you will ever do in the future, and yet loves you unconditionally beyond your wildest dreams. This divine presence wants to draw back the veil and reveal the light to you. It wants to draw you through the attraction of divine love into oneness with Source at the center of your being. So receive the outpouring of unconditional love from this being who is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-wise. Let it draw you into oneness with itself and flood your heart with light. Flood your mind and emotions with healing, clearing of wrong thinking, painful emotions, and programming, and replace it all with divinely inspired thoughts and feelings, ideas and plans. It shines out of the center of your being through all these layers into your physical body to heal all dis-ease. Just drink it in and receive it. There's nothing to beg for in this moment. You don't even need to ask. The presence knows what you need before you do. Just receive. Breathe it in. Drink it in and keep receiving. It will flood your relationships and heal them and make them right. It will shine through your life into the world and make you a beacon to others. They'll be touched by the presence through you and drawn to the light. Just allow the presence to fill you with light and life, grace and love. This is the flowering heart blessing that causes the divine light and presence to light up within you and to begin to unfold within you from the inside out. We call it the flowering of the heart. You're soaking in it now, so soak it up. Drink it in. Imagine, visualize us all with your eyes closed, sitting in a big circle together. And lift up your hands with your palms open, facing forward, and let us invite the presence to pour through every one of us this flowering heart blessing, this direct transmission of divine light and grace and love. It flows through you to all the others in the circle. All you need to do is hold the intention that the divine would use you, and it's instantaneous. And it's flowing back to you through all the others in the circle. Picture the planet Earth in the middle of our circle, the blue, translucent blue, beautiful living planet. And let us take a strong intention, asking the divine to pour through us grace, to pour out grace to touch every heart of every living human being on planet Earth, to melt away the fear, to melt away the pain, to melt away all hatred and bitterness, to flood every living human heart, all 8 billion plus of us, with the light of pure divine love. Cause the hearts of all human beings on planet Earth to flower into one love, one light, one being. For we are all part of one another. We are all one. We are family. So we constantly hold the intention for the healing and the transformation of humanity, and the healing of the earth. Now you could relax your hands somewhere in your lap. And when you're ready, open your eyes and begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me, both of us or one of us. Just keep gazing at least one of our eyes as we dive into the light meditation. During the light meditation, Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans, grace, and love, and light, and it pours through every fiber of our being to you, especially through our eyes, the windows of the soul. As you just keep gazing, there's nothing to do but just keep looking and receiving and allowing, and the light streams out through our eyes, in through your eyes, into your heart of hearts, causing the fires of divine love and the light of awakening and transformation to grow brighter and brighter and brighter within you. Just receive and relax. your eyes now. Meditate with us a few more minutes as the grace settles within us. Now keep meditating as long as it feels nice to you. Or you could find a place nearby to lie down comfortably on your back. The pose is called Shavasana. You lie on your back with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides, your palms open, turned upward. And just let yourself dissolve with gratitude in the presence. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Until we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine within you. And we bow to you.
Namaste.
Namaste.